Hello and welcome back to the podcast. It is time for the March 2023 energy update. I feel like these come so quickly every month. There's just so much that happens each month, and yet it feels like it lasts for the blink of an eye. So we are going to dive into what we need to know for March 2023. I already have the guides all around me. I've got some cards in front of me, so I'm going to pull some cards, see what the guides have to say, and we will dive into it. Before I do that, though, a few very exciting announcements. We are hosting, by we, I mean me, my team, the whole village that supports me in this business. We're hosting two very exciting in-person events over the next few months. So one in March and one in April. And sharing about these both at the same time because some of you might want to come to both. Some of you might want to come to just one. And I'm really excited about hosting a lot more in-person experiences this year. I mentioned before, I want that to be a main focus. I have just been feeling this on a soul level and getting the guidance around it in terms of how important it is for us to connect in person, in real life. Just a very different energy. The energy is so much more potent. It's super transformational. And there are just different energies that are activated within us when we are together. And it's really powerful for anchoring in a lot of light. And I know that a lot of us are really craving that in-person connection. So I'm excited to be focusing more on in-person experiences. And the first one coming up is going to be March 24th through the 25th. So a 2-day in-person retreat here in beautiful San Diego, specifically North County, Encinitas, favorite area ever. And the theme of this is connecting with your soul purpose. So this is going to be a more intimate container, obviously, for this retreat. And we're going to be focusing on connecting with your purpose and really clearing out any blocks or fears to living your mission, living your purpose. So whether you feel really clear on what you're here to do, but you are just bumping up against fear, you're getting in your own way, you're not doing the damn thing, or if you feel like you haven't really anchored into what that means or what that looks like for you, this could be a great fit. It's going to be a really amazing space to connect with other like-minded individual, to work with me directly. We're going to do a lot of energy healing, a lot of activations. It's going to be a lot of deep healing work between the energy healing, the coaching, deep conversation, all the fun stuff. So, every in-person experience is unique. And yeah, I'm really excited to dive into that. So that will be March 24th through the 25th. I'll put the link in the show notes to check that out, whether you're local or if you want to fly in. That sucks. For the editor, I'm starting after every experience is unique. Which is why I love these types of experiences so much because, I don't like to do the same thing twice. And even if you think you're doing the same thing twice, you never really are because different people are there, different energies are there. We're different people in each moment. So I am super pumped for that retreat. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of deep work. Let me tell you, a 2-day immersive experience is like a year's worth of transformation working with me privately. So it's really magical. So that's coming up first. And then the second in-person event that will be offered is going to be at the end of April. It will also be in San Diego, my favorite town. April 28th through the 29th, it will be once again a 2-day in-person experience. There will be more spots available for that experience than the retreat in March. So opening it up a little bit more for some more people. The theme of this will be hearing the voice of your soul. So the theme of this is going to be around unlocking your intuitive gifts to use in your everyday life. As I've shared a million times before, the thing that has transformed my life has been having a daily spiritual practice. This is why I have the Channel Collective membership. This is why I feel so passionate about passionate. I don't know. Is that an adverb? Whatever. So I feel so strongly. I guess it's an adverb. Feel so passionately about helping people open up their intuitive abilities, because that is how you find the answers for yourself. And in a world where we are cluttered with information and opinions, and it can feel really confusing to discern what's ours versus what's other people's, what do I really want versus what do I think I should do, knowing how to connect with your soul and doing that every single day will be your guiding light and make your life feel so much easier. It amplifies manifestation because you know how to just listen to your intuition. So everything feels like flow again. And I really want to support people in developing that spiritual practice for themselves and learning how to connect with their intuitive gifts. So the purpose of this is not to train somebody to be a psychic as their profession. The purpose of this is for the everyday person, no matter, what your career is, who wants to unlock their intuitive abilities, feel really confident listening to their intuition, and have that daily spiritual practice to guide them through their lives. I really just want to give you guys the tools to get your own answers, because you have your own answers. So I'm really excited for that 2-day experience. Once again, we will do some activations, of course. It's going to be a lot of workshopping. We're going to talk about identifying your intuitive gifts, working with your spirit guides, working with signs and synchronicities. We're going to talk about using different types of cards, oracle cards, tarot cards, pendulums, all the spiritual tools we're going to practice. It's going to be a ton of fun. So once again, a great space to connect with other like-minded individuals. And yeah, I can't wait to hang out with you guys in person, because it's the best. So we'll put the link for that one as well into the show notes below. And I know some of you might want to come for both. Some of you might feel called to one over the other. So you can just feel into it. And yeah, I can't wait. We are doing early bird pricing for the April event right now. So the price will go up at the beginning of April. Just FYI, just sharing a little bit more about these today, because I haven't talked about them on the podcast yet. So that's my big announcement. We have 2 fun events coming up. Thanks for giving me the space to explain. I am really, really excited, and they are going to be magical. So that's my announcement. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive into March 2023 energy. Anchoring into numerology, we are in a universal 7 year, the year of spiritual activation, spiritual awakening. It's very inward focused, getting to know ourselves on a deeper level and having a lot of big realizations. So we have that 7 energy going on. And let me tell you, a lot of disclosure is happening personally and worldwide, overlapping with our collective month. March 3 plus 7 is 10, 1. So 1, we're going to 1 month in numerology, new beginnings, fresh start, new chapter, planting seeds, leadership, taking action, all that kind of energy. So what's the new thing that you want to dive into? It might be new inspiration dropping in. It might be, okay, now is the time to finally take action. And I do feel like March is going to be a month of taking action. What I'll say is, right before I was just clearing my cards, getting my space ready, and I just double check, we good, March 2023. And the image that came forward immediately was of a lion. And connected to that, I didn't pull this card. It just, sometimes they'll show me certain cards in my mind's eye, oracle cards or tarot cards, because I know what the meaning of the card is. So they showed me the strength card in tarot, which has that lion. Just sharing that. And the color that has been coming through prominently for March has been yellow. And I do not remember what I said it was for February, because I just kind of black out when I'm channeling these. So anyway, yellow, solar plexus, self-confidence, relationship with ourselves. Was that last month or was it? I don't remember. But it feels like a very empowered month. You think about the strength card, the lion energy, the like taming the lion, she's like in that card, like, holding the lion's mouth open or whatever, like in control, taking care of it, getting shit done, taking action. Number one, fresh starts, new beginning. So it's time to go for it. It's time to do the damn thing. It's time to say the thing that you want to say. So keep that in mind for March. We're just going to mention that right off the bat. So it's going to be time to finally take action on the thing that you've been thinking about. I feel like this has been coming in bits and pieces that maybe I've thought about a little bit more. I have more of a plan of attack. Like, you're going to realize that you can't waste so much time making the plan or thinking about it. The problem is that when you have the inspiration or the idea and you try to approach it from this 3D way of doing things, and you try and strategize and plan it out and make it all nice and pretty, by the time you actually get to the point of taking action, the portal has passed, essentially. The time has passed. It's irrelevant. Over it. I will tell you, Christina will say. I will tell you, this is a big thing in my life for sure. Because when I know I got to do it now, I got to do it now. And if I wait an hour later, it's gone. Inspiration gone. Same thing with my books. You know, I can channel the books in 2 to 3 days and I'm done. But if I waited, you know, or if I tried to do it before or after, I was like, well, I don't have time this weekend, the portal passed. The stream of information isn't coming through. And so what we're being pushed to do is live in the present moment and follow our divine inspiration and know that, oh, now is the time, because I'm feeling that it's the time right now. And this is a really important distinction as well. There's a difference between, and they're saying, so my friend David Lyon says it specifically like this, and this is exactly what the lesson is for this month. It's like, or in general, there's a difference between, David always says, there's a difference between an idea and inspiration. And this is perfect because we were just talking about this, and this is the idea that they're bringing through. And so David explains, right? The idea is, okay, this pops in my head. The inspiration is, now is the timing. And the distinction is, what's actually the correct timing, right? And so tuning into feeling it in your body, like, is now go time, and learning how to discern that for yourself. Like, is it just an idea or something that popped in my head versus I need to do this right now? And it's a very physical thing of like, now's the time. Let's go. I have the energy for it. And where our energy is aligning is showing us what is the aligned timing. So if you're planning on doing something today, but you're exhausted, that's your body saying now is not the time. When it's aligned timing, you are going to have the energy naturally for the thing. This came up in the Navigating Ascension podcast as well. And so we're going to feel it a lot more intensely. Like, they're showing me, I just feel like with energy, mood, like these big pendulum swings, it's taking us to extremes. So it's so freaking clear what our soul is saying, what our intuition is saying, what our spirit guides are saying. And the thing is with intuition is, you know, it's funny. I feel like a lot of people say, oh, it's so loud, it's so obvious. It's actually not. I feel like intuition is actually so quiet. Because it's so obvious, it's like so quiet, which is why people have a hard time figuring out what their intuition is. And a lot of times when people actually tap into that, they're like, wait, I knew that all along. I just wasn't paying attention to it. It's like that thing that's so quiet, it's so subtle, you just stop paying attention to it, but it was right there the whole time. And the volume is getting turned up louder and louder. And that can look like hardcore resistance in a lot of areas of your life. Things just really, really not working anymore. Extreme exhaustion, weird symptoms, weird blowups. Like, we're being pushed in a certain direction in very obvious ways because we have to up level, like we have to upgrade, right? So if you're noticing extreme resistance in a certain area of your life, you have to listen to it. And you have to ask yourself, what's going to be my point of surrender? At what point am I going to wake up to this? At what point am I going to just listen to what my body is telling me, to what my higher self is trying to tell me, instead of trying to logic my way through it or 3D my way through it? Like, the 3D stuff really isn't going to work, which is why we're being shown how to really live in the present. We've been so conditioned to look so far ahead, we live in the past, we live in the future. A lot of times we're not really living in the now, and we're choosing what we want to do in the now based on where we want to be in the future. And I'm bumping up against this right now. I'm bumping up against this right now. Like as they're saying this, and I'm relaying this message because I am a big believer of, okay, I need to know where I'm going to decide what action I'm going to take right now. This is a live, you witnessing me bump up against something I'm channeling that I don't really like. But I'm part of it too, right? I'm part of this too, where they're saying the point is you have to trust yourself. And what if where you're deciding you want to end up, which is, okay, so I don't want to launch this in 6 months. So I'm going to make this choice today to work on it right now. But what if where I've decided where I want to end up is not where I'm actually going to want to be in 6 months? I'm deciding ahead of time, but what if me in 6 months doesn't want to do that anymore? And then I've just locked myself into this whole cycle. And so they're saying that this is about trusting ourselves and trusting the timing and the plan, and actually allowing your future to play out exactly as it's meant to. Because why a lot of people feel misaligned in their lives is because they have been deciding for their future too early on, and they've become a different version of themselves. So this is the balance with manifestation of, anchoring into an intention, but being detached in terms of, can I allow this to shift and change? So I might have had an initial intention, and as I go a little bit further in, as I live my life, can I allow that intention to change in 3 days, in a week, in 6 months? And how often do we stay locked into things because we've said I'm committed to it, and I've worked my butt off to get here, and I've spent this long in this situation. Well, I've been in this marriage for 20 years. I can't just give up now. There's too many crossed wires. I've sacrificed so much to build this company and to make it what it was. Like, I spent my whole life. I gave my whole life to this. I can't just leave it. Well, at what point what justifies it being complete? Or are you just deciding that early on you're going to commit to what you're going to do for the rest of your life, and you're never going to let yourself change? That's just going against how we're built. You have to allow yourself to experience more opportunities. And that is a huge energy for March. How can I allow myself to surrender to new opportunities and new experiences? How can I allow the universe to surprise me? How can I let myself surprise me? Being around different types of people, having different types of conversations, getting out of your rut, going for it, allowing your future to play itself out and not worrying about it then. You'll deal with it then, but you're going to be a different version of yourself then. What is true for you right now? What are you feeling right now? And this is about releasing the blocks to actually hearing ourselves, listening to ourselves, honoring how we're truly feeling in the moment. How often do we have an emotion, a feeling, a thought, and we just try and suppress it, push it away? We talk to ourselves, no, well, you really wanted this. We've worked hard for this. And we tell ourselves we're wrong. We make ourselves wrong, and we stay locked into things. There's a visceral no to that kind of energy. And a lot of us live in that type of energy through our whole lives. This energy of, like, I'm locked in, I'm trapped in this. Well, this is the relationship. Well, this is the career. This is the job. This is the city I live in. This is the house I live in. And there's so much conditioning around that, and so many other people's like projections. The more you are brave, the braver you are. Thanks. The braver you are, and the more you live for yourself, and you're bold, and you choose what really lights you up, and you stop worrying about how it's going to play out next week. And this isn't about being irresponsible. It's actually taking full responsibility for yourself and your life, and choosing what's in highest alignment for you, right? So it's not just, oh, I don't care about anyone or anything else. It's knowing that if something is really off right now, that's not serving you, and that's also not serving everybody else around you, right? So it's like this rewiring of, okay, I'm going to listen to how I'm feeling in the moment. I'm going to honor, I'm going to make the decision. I'm going to go for it. If today I wake up and I want to eat ice cream for lunch, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to trust myself. I'm just going to trust myself, and being okay with how it's going to bump up against other people's opinions, and where they're going to tell you that it's not fair, it's irresponsible, it's silly. Like, is that really true though? And it's not to not hear other people, right? It's super important and valuable to hear other people. We gain wisdom through other people. We learn a lot from other people's reflections. We don't know what we don't know, right? But noticing what is a piece of information that's helpful for our growth versus somebody just throwing their own fear or projections onto us. That's the difference. When other people feel you starting to shift, starting to move, starting to grow, they're going to start to feel that gap. They're going to start to feel that vibrational gap. They're going to feel you if you're connected by a cord, right? Imagine you're connected by a cord, you start moving in a different direction. You're really excited. You're going toward the gold. And this person, their feet are planted firmly on the ground, and they're feeling you. You're walking away and they're feeling the tug, and they don't like that, right? Or we feel the vibrational gap and people are afraid that they're going to lose us. And so they start throwing out energy. They start saying things that make us feel guilty or make us feel like, am I making a poor decision? And we start to come back, right? We have to be okay with feeling that tug and other people feeling uncomfortable when we choose our highest path, when we make different decisions. And it's like, how long are you going to spend worrying so much about what other people think? It's a waste. It's such a waste of energy, and with a lot of what's going to come up through this process and is coming up, in our lives, like, you have to realize there are so many different ways that you could perceive it. And one of the big things that they're saying blocks us is we just take everything too seriously. And one of the ways that you can gain more clarity and loosen up the energy and move through it is like laughing about it and seeing the humor in it. When someone says something rude to you or makes a judgment, you can either make that mean something about you and contract and get upset and spiral and cry. Not saying that's not valid, but there's also the other perception of it, which is just, okay, and laughing at it. Oh, is that really? Really? That's the best you got, right? Like, and you don't give it energy, like you don't give it power. And so notice what you are giving power, notice what you are giving energy to, and is that what you want to keep energizing in your life? Noticing what is actually controlling you, what is actually controlling your decisions. I mean, that word is intense, but that's what they're saying. Like, for us to really realize, holy shit, have I been letting my fear control me? Have I been letting other people's perceptions or judgments control me? This is like an important thing in life, but what they're saying is you have to be really careful about who you are turning to for advice and who you're chatting about things with, because there's going to be a lot of people who maybe, they're well-meaning, they love you, and they're trying to give you advice or support you, or they're hearing what you're saying, and they're going to project, or they're going to be afraid of what it means for them or for your relationship if you start to follow your highest alignment. Or where are you turning to people for advice who are not in a situation you would want to be in? Right? Like, if it's the classic, if I want someone to tell me I look good in this dress, I'm going to ask someone who I know is going to tell me I look good in this dress. Right? I'm just going to do that. And that's what a lot of people are doing right now, which is why they are getting caught in a loop. Having someone who will tell you straight, will be very direct, a third-party outsider is going to be a lot more helpful. Realizing that other people are very attached, whether or not they mean to be. And that's not always helpful when you're trying to gain clarity. So it's really helpful for us to have sounding boards, and we need relationships, we need friendships, we need partners, like we need that in terms of having that mirror for us, and we can learn a lot through each other. Of course, we teach each other so much, but is everybody the most aligned teacher or sounding board for you right now? Maybe you need to upgrade your sounding board and thinking about what's the frequency of the person I'm chatting with about this. What would it feel like if every person that you went to for advice, like just getting clarity, talking through something with, was more expansive for you? Are the people around you actually expansive for you? If you're asking someone for advice who isn't expansive for you, then don't expect an answer or insight that's going to expand you. And it just feels like right now, the energy is like either expand or you're going to contract, and in life we have ebbs and flows of that. Like if you're expanding forever, you're going to snap. There's time and space where we're chilling, we're floating, we're doing our thing. And there's times of expansion and maybe contraction, but right now they're saying it's like expand or contract, pick one. And where you're taking things too seriously is going to be your downfall. Where you're taking things too seriously is where you're blocking yourself from the bigger opportunities that want to come your way. There's some big, big stuff that wants to come in, like huge divine intervention things coming in, like a lot of disclosure stuff, a lot of ET contact, a lot of angel visitations, connecting with spirit guides, things turning on, huge manifestations, like big amounts of money, big career opportunities, huge downloads, like, holy shit, I just got the inspiration that's going to change my life. I know what to do. I know where to go. Huge things are coming in right now. Are we open to receiving them? And that looks like, am I taking everything so seriously, and am I so attached to holding on to what I built thus far that I've closed the door to something even bigger coming in? And they're saying some of you listening are thinking, how could it be bigger? This is great. You're still not realizing how big the mission is. This is getting us out of this energy of it's small, it's contracted. And most of us have been conditioned to live that way. Don't be too much. Don't shine too bright. Don't make people uncomfortable. Don't be so direct. And who is that serving? That is how we have blocked our magnetism, because the people who are meant to see us can't even find us because we are not shining brightly, because we're not being too much. This is the thing. It's like online dating. If you want to be successful with an online dating profile, you have to be super specific. Like you have to be specific enough about the things you like, your personality, what you're looking for, that it will for sure turn off people. But what most people do is they pick the neutral route. Everything's neutral. Like every answer, it's nice, it's easy. Okay, yeah. So you're likable, and you're also not unlikable. And people do that because they think, oh, then I'll have higher chances because more people will be interested in me. I don't want to be too much or too weird or too whatever. And knock people out. Why? We want to knock people out who aren't aligned with it. But when you're staying so neutral, then you're going to go on dates and meet people who are also just neutral, or you're going to realize you guys are way too different. It's not compatible. The more willing you are to be not liked, the more magnetic you will become. The more willing you are to be not liked, the easier it will be for you to attract in truly soul-aligned relationships. The divine is working through people right now. The divine is working through you. And so this means that people are going to come forward in your life. If you open to it though, or are you just in no new friends energy? No new friends, no new friends. You're missing out on the messages. If that's you, it's like you're the main character of the movie, because you are. And all these new side characters are coming in to give you info so that you can find the buried treasure. Oh my gosh, are you going to listen? That's happening. And you are also being the side character in other people's movies. So you are also delivering information whether or not you even mean to. Important things that are shifting the trajectory of other people's lives, which is why when you get that ping, when you get that download, when you're like, I gotta call this person, I really need to get coffee with that person, I need to check in on this, like, I gotta say this thing, gotta do it because the divine is working through you. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. This is March 2023. Get out of the way. Okay. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see what cards. Actually, just anything else. They're laughing at me. They think I'm so funny. My spirit guides, I think you're funny too. What else for March? Play more, laugh more, have more fun. It's about different, shifting the energy, going for it, changing, like unlock yourself. They're just showing like all these people have locked themselves. I'm doing it this way. I'm stuck in this. I committed to this. And we love commitment energy when it's aligned. But this is interesting. Let me peel apart my definition of commitment. To what end? There are a lot of people that have major commitment energy problems, which is why they don't actually create things they want to create in their lives. It's a whole other thing. I want to make a different podcast or something about that. But what's relevant right now that they're bringing through is actually, and I feel like this is much more, the people who are listening to this, like if you resonate with me, you're probably more on this side. If you show up to this podcast like 1-2 times a week for the last 8 years, like you probably are okay with commitment to some level. That's actually why I love this community and why people get such incredible results, because I create things from the energy of commitment. And that's how we get shit done, right? Like joining the membership is a huge, yes, I'm committed to myself and my expansion, but it's commitment to the evolution, and it's commitment to honoring my truth. And so we think about the different levels of commitment and what that really means for us. And if that was a crazy ringing in my ear. Okay, thank you. That was important. Different levels to the meaning of commitment, which is, what does that really mean to be in commitment to something? And at its core, I'm committed to my truth. And I understand that my truth can evolve over time as I evolve over time, as I am at a different frequency. And so that which I resonate with will be different. I'm committed to my truth. I'm committed to my evolution in alignment with my highest truth. And when I think about commitment and why I stay in something because I committed to it, is there no end to that though? Am I still staying committed to this if it's sucking the life out of me? My whole body is saying no. I'm having health issues because of it. I'm stressed out about it. Like, what does that really mean? We have to have more parameters. And so we get to really redefine what that word means and get a little bit clearer for ourselves, because you might think you're staying in this because you committed to it. And I'm in commitment energy, right? And I feel good about that, being in commitment energy. So I'm going to stay in it, committed to this partnership, this relationship, this dynamic. And so are we putting the commitment to that dynamic above our commitment to ourselves, to our truth, to our mission, to our purpose, to being love? And really, am I putting my commitment to this dynamic over my commitment to the divine, to allowing the divine to work through me? Commit to the evolution. Okay, let's see what else we need to know. For March 2023, man, I feel like the plot twist really takes action here. It's fast. This is like when you are creating the plot twist in your own life, right? Because that's the big energy this year. It's like, whoa, big revelation. And it's not just about the revelation though. It's also, I'm actually taking action on it now. I'm actually going to make a different decision. And we are watching this happen like in our own lives, but then also collectively as information gets revealed. All of this stuff we're focusing on personally, like this is the thing. I don't spend that much time on what's happening collectively because we shift what's happening collectively and we relate to what's happening collectively totally different depending on our frequency on a personal level. So to me, like talking about the collective stuff is just like, if I'm trying to get to the root of it, I'm going to focus on the individual stuff because that's how when we all shift individually, we shift the frequency of the planet. We create something new. We create what we do desire. But when we're just talking about collective energy, no, this is going to happen. Well, okay, then what? But how do I move through that? Right? When if there's chaos all around me and stuff's getting revealed and all these things are coming out about, the truth that the so-and-so has been hiding, who the GOV's been hiding. How do we respond to that? When cancel culture is coming up, like how are we relating to that? That's what's more important. So we don't get caught in loops and cycles. There's a lot of distractor energies right now. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of distractor energies. And that is going to come through as people wanting things from you. I need you to do this. Can you do that? Random ideas coming in that aren't really yours. Frequencies floating in. Not every thought you have is your own thought. Energy flowing in. There's a lot of distractor energies. And there's a lot of distractor energies on a collective level. Hey, everyone, look over here. Meanwhile, this is happening over here. Like so much distraction energy, which is why grounding, earthing, having your own spiritual practice, getting off scrolling, any type of scrolling, stop the scrolling. Being intentional. Detoxing from television and music. They're like, you're so extreme. Like, no, I'm a realist about what's messing up your vibration. Just trying to look out for you. Well, really, the guides are trying to look out. Okay. I shuffle these 100 million times. It's fine. It's fine. Oh my God. Wow, I love this. I love all these yellows. Okay. Open the door. Bring in the light. Allow yourself to receive and be kind to yourself. And I feel like this be kind to yourself card is really where we are staying locked into a situation, because where are you telling yourself that you're a bad person, you're wrong, you're lazy, you're weak, whatever, if you exit the situation that's not serving you anymore. It's actually the opposite. It's actually the strong one who commits to truth and who follows their soul alignment, because that is not always easy. Be kind to yourself. Where are you engaging in negative self-talk and that's keeping it in loops? You know, I feel like they're telling me to say this. It's interesting with the work that I do. People ask me questions and I recognize a lot of my answers are very different than what people are expecting or what other people might say. A lot of my like mindset hacks, people want some like spider web of a mindset shift. It's quite simple for me. And I feel part of my mission here is just to explain how I see things, not because that needs to be how you see it, but just as a different example of how like fast this could be if you want it to be. There came a point in my life where I realized that it was really just a waste of my time to be mean to myself. Simple as that. Like me, like engaging in any negative self-talk, being hard on myself, telling myself I'm not good enough, whatever. Like, just like most people, I engaged in that for much of the first part of my life. And then I hit a point where I was like, I just don't have energy for this. Like, who is this helping? No one. No one. It's just this shitty relationship I have with myself. And I can't afford to have a shitty relationship with myself. Like, it's just a waste of my time. So it's like, literally just decide. I'm going to decide to be nice to myself, because not being nice to myself is not helping anyone. It's definitely not helping anyone. No one. Okay. Open the door. What did I just say? What did they say? They said earlier, where have you closed the door to information, to divine inspiration, to resources? They literally said, we closed the door, and that's what the visual. Where are you closing the door? No new friends. I'm busy. I don't have time for people. Cup is full. Overwhelmed. Open the door and then allow yourself to receive. I'm telling you, take a leap. It's going to feel good in your body. It's chills. It's going to feel good in your body. Listen to your body over your mind this month, more than ever before. I mean, always, but listen to your body over your mind. Listen to everything beyond your thoughts. Where are you trying to rationalize everything? That's where you're keeping yourself trapped. How are we already 40 minutes into this? What else do we need to know for March? OMG. You truly can't make this up. Okay. Let me do this. Well, we have the well-being card. Butterflies, blue butterflies, the moon. This woman is laying in this grassy field, taking care of yourself. Really think about what that means to take care of yourself. We think about that just physically, and that's important. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I resting enough? And rest is not just physically, it's also mental. Most people never actually get rest because their minds are always racing. Do I have too many people tugging on me all day long? But my well-being, it's not just physical, eating enough, eating well, eating clean foods, getting enough sleep, getting sunlight, all those lovely things. Grounding is huge. Ground, put your feet on the earth. It's going to make you feel like you're fried all the time if you don't. But it's also about emotional well-being. And if you're stressed out every day because your body, your intuition is like, I can't be here. You are not well. Am I emotionally well, spiritually well? When you focus on your spiritual wellness, all of the other pieces fall into place. And that's why I have the Channel Collective membership. That's why I focus on spiritual wellness, because I went in from the other direction. I spent years working in holistic health, nutrition, that side of wellness, then straight business. And I realized, you know what the root of all this is? Energetics. So let's stop wasting time, because I like efficiency, because 5D, we manifest fast. That's the thing. I'm not talking about all this woo-woo shit just to talk about woo-woo shit. I'm talking about this because it helps you create what you want easily and more quickly. Isn't that what we all want? A hack? Okay. Well-being. We have the beauty card. There's this aesthetic piece. When we think about nourishment, the energy of nourishment, taking care of ourselves, that's also visually. And this can seem very superficial. And I feel like a lot of times, especially on the spiritual path, we can go through this phase where it's like, I don't care what anything looks like. It's like beyond the material, beyond the physical. And I totally get that. I think that can for sure serve us in many ways. But then there's this coming back to, okay, maybe I went through that process to detach and to relate to things differently. But then it's realizing that I'm always being nourished. Everything is just energy. So the same way the food I eat is energy that's nourishing me or not. So is the color palette around me, the clothes that I'm wearing, the colors around me, how clean it is, how messy it is. Like thinking about the beauty in your space, thinking about the energy of that beauty. How can I bring beauty into my daily life? And beauty has a softness to it. It has a stillness. It has a presence. When you think about, how do I bring the frequency of beauty into my everyday life? How do I radiate that? How do I see the beauty in everything? This is about presence and allowing yourself to be pickier about your environment, because what's on my desk right now is either nourishing me or it's not. And let me tell you, all of these crystals around me are certainly nourishing me. Okay. Next, we have the commitment card. I'm telling you, you can't make this shit up. And this is a very simple but clear example when I'm talking about it, because this was a huge lesson I had to learn, because I battled with this for so long. I was like, I don't want to talk about the same thing twice. I don't want to answer the same question twice. That's like saying I never want to pull the same card twice. But I know I've pulled this a few times, and I think last time I pulled this, the message around it was commit. Like get in commitment energy. Like where are you wish-washy? Where are you 1 foot in, 1 foot out? It was like commit to it. Same card, different time, different message. Commitment is exactly what we were just talking about of what am I actually committed to, and what does the energy of commitment feel like, mean to me? What does it feel like to me? What does it mean to me? This is actually where am I committing? Where am I staying stuck? Where am I keeping myself stuck in a situation and I'm saying it's because I'm committed, but I'm actually just in fear? And where am I allowing my commitments to control me? Oof. Redefining commitment. What am I actually committed to? Is it to this dynamic, this situation, a previous promise from a different version of myself? 4444, right when I said that. Or am I committed to myself? Am I committed to my mission? Am I committed to living as my most divine self? Am I committed to my evolution? Am I committed to my highest truth? Lastly, the family card. We want to expand this out and think about the frequency of family. And so part of the learning that we get to have through this year is pausing at different words or different ideas and really peeling them apart and redefining things for ourselves and feeling into the vibration. It's not just the word, it's the frequency. What do we really mean by family? This could look like, what is my relationship with my family? But it really means, do I have a sense of family in my life? And the sense of family in your life can come through your friendships. It can come through your colleagues, your team members at work. It can come through retreat experiences. It can come through the membership. It can come through any type of container of a group of people, through any single relationship of like, is there a feeling of family? What does that really mean to me? And am I prioritizing that sense of home in this relationship? Freedom to be myself, nourishment, love, unconditional love between people. And so this goes back to, this year is really, I know it's a 7-year and it's very personal, but the way it's manifesting is very much through relationships, through reevaluating our current relationships and making some tough decisions and realizing that this shit is not serving me. It's keeping me stuck in a loop. Or this is feeling really good. Why am I not leaning more into this? Why am I not letting myself be supported? Why am I not letting myself receive this unconditional love that's right in front of me? Where is my energy and intention directed? And is it actually directed toward what's feeding me and nourishing me back? Isn't that funny how we can spend our whole lives trying to convince people to love us instead of just letting ourselves be loved by the people who have the capacity to? It's not funny. See. Well, one spirit card or spirit animal card. Animals are going to be big this month. Porcupine spirit. Time for beginner mind. New beginnings. It's okay to feel new, and that's why we stay in the current dynamic. I'm committed. I'm trapped in this situation. It's because you're afraid to be a beginner. I'm afraid to actually be in a divine relationship. I'm afraid to be in this type of business partnership. I'm afraid to be a newbie over here. This is new for me. And so where I am uncomfortable being new again, I'm actually just going to stay in the situation that's not serving me anymore, and say it's because I'm committed to it, when it's actually I'm just afraid to start something new because I worked my butt off to be really good at this. And I'm an 8th grader, right? I don't want to be a freshman again, right? It's like, I don't want to be the youngest person in the school again. I spent the last 8-9 years being an 8th grader and running this school. And then I got to go be a freshman where the seniors are going to treat me like, you see what I'm saying? You got to do it. You got to go to high school. You got to be a freshman again. You're going to like your friends at this new high school way better than people in middle school. Let me tell you, it's an upgrade in vibration. Wow, loving these analogies. Loving these analogies so much. Any final? I'm just hearing go for it. Go for it. Let it get spicy. King of Swords. I mean, come on. Take action. Do it. King of Wands. Divine inspiration. You're going to be in your king energy. The Star. Wish fulfillment. It's right there. You have to take action and co-create with the universe. The momentum is there. Like the universe is, yeah, let's go. Big things coming in. We're going in this direction. You gonna come? You gonna come? You gonna ride the wave? And it's like, no, I'm committed to going in this direction. It's like the whole ocean is going this direction. The whole river. That's a better example. The whole river is going this direction, and you're so committed to going left when the whole current is going this direction, and the whole current is leading you toward a castle, the kingdom. Don't be silly. But you have to take action. You've got to make a different decision. You got to go for it. In making the decision, you're co-creating with the universe. And powerful things are going to drop in. So March feels spicy. It feels good. Get out there. Get out there. Show the world who you really are. All right. That feels good for me. Anything else? They're just laughing at me. Thank you for using me as a vessel. Have fun. Have fun. Otherwise, it's going to feel too intense. It doesn't have to be as intense. We can make it feel more intense, or we can have fun with it. And life feels a lot lighter. You are picking the frequency. You're picking the frequency. So choose the one you want. All right, that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed this, be sure to take a screenshot, share it to social media, tag me, tag at Christina the Channel podcast. That way we can repost you and say thank you. It always means the world when you guys share the show on social. Whenever you send a link to a friend, it's the best way to grow our community. And I really want to keep growing our community because I feel like this information can really help people. So if you think so as well, keep sharing. Means the world to me and to the team. So thank you all. Excited for what March holds for you. Keep me updated. We're in this together. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. I'm sending you so much love, and I will chat with you again in the next episode.